Well, will more BJP-ruled states follow the suit? It looks like we have UP Deputy Chief Minister Keshav Prasad Maurya, who's made a statement and said that UP is looking closely at the developments, and when the time is right, UCC or the facets of it will be brought in the state of Uttar Pradesh as well. We'll try and cut across to my colleague Arunima, but before that, listen in to what the UP Deputy Chief Minister had to say.
मैं उत्तराखंड में भारतीय जनता पार्टी सरकार के मुखिया श्री पुष्कर सिंह धामी जी और उनकी पूरी सरकार को यूसीसी लाने के लिए बधाई देता हूं। भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने धारा 370 हटाने का वादा किया, पूरा कर दिया। रामलला का भव्य मंदिर बनाने का वादा किया, पूरा कर दिया। यूसीसी लाने का वादा किया हुआ है देश की जनता से। भाजपा का विचार का मुद्दा है और आज उत्तराखंड यानी देवभूमि से शुरुआत हुई है। आने वाले समय में मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि हमारी जो विचारधारा से जुड़े हुए विषय हैं वो आगे बढ़ेंगे।
My colleague Arunima with us on the broadcast. Arunima, politically speaking, how is it turning out to be? It looks like that more BJP-ruled states, at least there would be political noises in the favor of UCC, which has been a poll promise in the manifesto of the BJP.
Yes, you heard from Uttar Pradesh, similar voices being heard from Rajasthan as well, and Himanta Biswa Sarma has already made it clear that he is going to bring a bill very soon, perhaps in the budget session itself, to ban polygamy in Assam. So there are voices that you are hearing in favor of some kind of a uniform code as far as marriage or family laws are concerned. It will be interesting to note how they call it uniform, if they call it so, and how they ensure implementation of the law. One thing is to bring a law, but how do you ensure that it is implemented? In Uttarakhand, perhaps it is easier for Pushkar Singh Dhami. The demographics here suggest that there is a majority Hindu population here, overwhelming majority, and they are not affected by the changes that are being brought in. There's already a Hindu code bill which governs their inheritance, marriage, adoption, etc. So they are not mostly affected. The Muslim population here, as per the 2011 census, is about 14%. Could have gone up by a few more notches in the last few years, but still compared to other states, the problem here is much lesser in terms of population. If you're talking of Rajasthan, child marriage still prevalent there, even though it has been outlawed as far as Hindu marriage laws are concerned. How will you convince them that this is the law of the land? Registration of marriages being spoken about is already the law of the land, but difficult to enforce. Let's talk about Assam. All of Northeast, we know, majorly tribal dominated, multiple tribes there. Tribes are protected under this law of Uttarakhand as well, because they are protected under the 6th schedule of the constitution. Are you going to exempt them all? And if you exempt them all, can you really call this a uniform code? So a lot of challenges. Let's see how the lawmakers are addressing those.
Well, the 6th schedule will continue to remain a stinging question for the people who support Uniform Civil Code. There must be a common code in this country, but how are you going to deal with the legal challenges and the kind of political challenges that it throws? Looking at the vast diversity of this country has always been a perplexing question. Well, not just the state of Uttar Pradesh, even in the state of Rajasthan, we are hearing similar noises. We have the word coming in from Rajasthan as well, where Minister Kanahiya Lal Choudhary has said that they are taking efforts to ensure that Rajasthan becomes the next state to implement the UCC. He has said that Chief Minister is in support of the bill and will try to bring it during the next session. I'll continue that conversation with Arunima. Arunima, we'll try and talk to you more about what the BJP-ruled states are likely to do. First, let's listen in to what Kanahiya Lal Choudhary said.
सबसे पहले तो मैं उत्तराखंड के मुख्यमंत्री धामी जी को धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं। उन्होंने जो महत्वपूर्ण विषय था जिसमें भारत की जनता टिकटकी लगाई हुई थी, मोदी जी की जब से सरकार आई, जिस बिल को जो केंद्र सरकार में लाना चाहे सबसे पहले उन्होंने की, इसके लिए मैं उनको धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं। और हम प्रयास कर रहे हैं कि पहले नंबर पे उत्तराखंड आ गए तो दूसरे नंबर पर राजस्थान आए।
इसके लिए आप बात करेंगे
मुख्यमंत्री जी हमसे ज्यादा एग्रेसिव है, हम तो फिर कम है। मुख्यमंत्री जी खुद इसके बहुत ज्यादा पक्षधर है। मुख्यमंत्री जी ने हमें डायरेक्शन भी दे दिया, बहुत जल्दी इस पे काम करेंगे।
आपको लगता है कि जो भी मौजूदा सत्र चल रहा है उसमें इस बारे में कोई चर्चा होगी?
मौजूदा सत्र के अंदर भी चर्चा करेंगे और हो सकता है इसमें समय कम मिले तो आने वाले जो सत्र आएगा जून जुलाई के अंदर, उसके अंदर 100% को लाएंगे।
Cutting across to my colleague Arunima once again. Arunima, it looks like that the BJP-ruled states will follow this suit. We saw this, what happened when it came to the so-called love jihad laws or the anti-conversion laws that were brought in. And there was kind of a model draft that was adopted by different states, including the state of Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh and various other BJP-ruled states that spoke about this particular law. Would that be the case with UCC as well? And as you rightly pointed out, it's going to be far more tricky in other states, including Uttar Pradesh, where there's a sizable chunk of Muslim population.
Yes, and even talking about the Hindu population, like I said, Rajasthan is a case in point. Child marriage has been outlawed for decades now, but yet yes, the number of instances of child marriages in a state like Rajasthan has gone down, but records seem to suggest that they are still very much prevalent. How will you convince them? And there is a law already which is getting, it's not being implemented 100%. The law of registration of marriage already exists, something that the UCC Uttarakhand bill has also made provision for. But again, not getting 100% implemented. So will you just bring this on paper? How are you going to ensure that this law is actually implemented? Plus, there is this legal question as well. I think after Uttarakhand passes this bill, the Assembly is still debating it. Once this bill gets the nod of the Assembly, we'll have to wait and see if there are any legal challenges which are mounted. There are a few questions that needs legal answer. If the right to fundamental right, the fundamental right to faith of religion is guaranteed in the Constitution, can a state then amend the Constitution in any way? Does the state have that power? That's question number one. Number two, can one argue that my right, the way I get married, the way the number of marriages that I am allowed to have as per my personal law, if you interfere with that, is it interference with my fundamental right to faith? Can that argument be extended? If that is so, will this Uniform Civil Code bill, as is being brought by Uttarakhand, get the nod of the apex court of the constitutional courts as well? So it is a tricky situation right now. I think all BJP ruled states are making the right noises because it's part of their unfinished agenda. But legally and politically speaking, the last word is yet to be said.
Well, I agree with the part, Arunima, when you say that the last word is yet to be said. The Sharia Application Act 1937, various other laws in this country that allow Muslims to have a personal code of their own need to be done away with, where we can really have that. And as far as the state interference is concerned, unless it contradicts with the basic tenets of somebody's faith and religion, a state has a right to make changes in any degree of the personal laws of the land. Let's cut across to some more news coming in. As we have been talking about the state of Assam, the bill to end polygamy is expected to be tabled in the ongoing budget session of the Assam Assembly. That's what Himanta Biswa Sarma has said. I'll try and cut across to my colleague Preeti Priyadarshini, who's joining us on the broadcast. Preeti, a word from you. What is the Chief Minister thinking?
First of all, we'll have to say that very recently the Chief Minister of Assam, Himanta Biswa Sarma, actually announced that the anti-polygamy bill will be tabled this time in the budget session, and it is expected to be tabled on 12th of this month during the budget session. But however, he also stated that they are very closely monitoring what will happen in Uttarakhand, and he also stated that they are closely monitoring the development in Uttarakhand. If the Uttarakhand UCC bill is made in the State Assembly as in today, and they can implement the entire UCC, they will see to it. Otherwise, our Assembly, the Assam Assembly, will introduce the anti-polygamy bill on 12th of February. However, a lot of oppositions have been coming in from the AIUDF, particularly where we have seen Aminul Islam speaking about it, where he has stated that the country, India, the entire country is a place of a beautiful variety of flowers, but they are trying to put one flower and bringing in UCC. And he also stated that Himanta Biswa Sarma is particularly trying to please the Prime Minister, for which reason he is trying to implement the anti-polygamy bill. But he also stated that nobody actually happy.
Well, what is very interesting about the northeastern states, Preeti, is the fact that there are a lot of matriarchal societies as well. Polygamy and polyandry both are found under various tribes under the 6th schedule of the Indian Constitution. So if there is a law that bars an individual from having more than one spouse, would that really apply to the 6th schedule communities as well? It's going to be a far more tricky situation in the state of Assam. We'll see how they deal with that. That's a question for the policymakers and for the legislators. We'll continue tracking that story. For now, slipping into a very short break. Stay tuned, stay with us.